Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Tracilyn, also known as VCAT. Home of Lebanon Cedars. You can still hear the train. There's a lot of trains that run through this town. This is actually the back of the school. A lot of different fields. I never really learned too much about it because I was never into the sports. Over here, of course, they used to call this the three-ring circus. I remember out of my whole school life, this is the one school that I looked forward to coming to. Although I was nervous because of everything I endured and had to go through as a child growing up. My brother went here. My sisters went here. I want to go here too. You know, I remember hearing all kinds of great stories. They always had great stories to share. My superhero friend went here. Almost everybody I knew in town eventually either went here before me or came during that time or shortly after me. It sits on top of a hill. You might want to Google it. See some images of Lebanon High School. Cedars, home of the Cedars. I'm going to try to reflect back a little bit. Understand, after everything that I went through in that junior high school, it was 7th and 8th grade. Here, you had 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. After that, I guess after you graduate, if you want to, you go off to college. Okay? I'm not sure if they have don't they have a 13th grade here now? Is it 13th year? I hope not. Not in my school life. But can I tell you, I'm gonna just get right into it. I went here my 9th and 10th year. I most certainly was stuck in negative thinking. I was reflecting back on that talent show moment often, wanting to play music, so I was looking at a lot of guitar magazines. I was still practicing a lot of guitar, all the time practicing. Everybody who knew me, especially from that time on, knew that I was a guitar person, okay? And so my friends went here that played guitar. We hang out a little bit. It's really neat. I always enjoyed walking around the school because in the hallways you go in a circle, you know? And then you might go through one of the hallways which had glass windows so you could, throughout the day, it was the only school that I remember that you could actually walk through the hallways and look on the court on the inside, they called it the court, or of course you could look outside, you know? Sometimes if I would be going around this circle, and up ahead in a distance, because I was always aware of my surroundings. If I saw certain individuals up ahead, I may turn around and walk the other way. And it was great here because you could still walk around very quickly to get into whichever building you need to get into. Or you had a first floor or second floor at that time. Same thing in this cafeteria. There was a lot of division. Groups of people that sat together and some groups of people that you didn't want to sit with or they didn't want to sit with you. You know, by this time, I'm sitting with all kinds of personality types. Kind of a lot of the different groups that I was with that were separated in junior high, we kind of clung together. So I got to meet some friends like from my other friends back in Lebanon Village who ended up going here. We had roller skating was a big thing we all had in common. So I got to make friends at the local roller rink. And music was a big thing, so I connected with more musicians out here. I went my 9th and 10th year, so that'd be freshman and junior if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Is it? Is it junior? I'm not sure. Sophomore. Is it freshman and sophomore? I always got confused with all that. Junior, sophomore, or hold on, freshman. 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 Did you ever hear that song? Isn't there something to do with the freshman? She was merely freshman or something like that. I have that all wrong. I don't know, for some reason that sticks in my head. Freshman and then a sophomore year, junior, and then you were a senior. How about if I just do numbers? I like numbers. 9th and 10th grade, especially 10th grade, I was starting to sink. I think by that time in 10th grade I had a part-time job. If you look across the street here with that car with the red lights, even further than that, I'm gonna skyrocket this out for you. Look how far we are away from that car. There you seen a truck pass by. Up even further than that, there's row homes. And just on the other side where that truck is, there's a road to the right. Okay, see the two porch lights and then the truck, pickup truck, and then to the right. Now I'm gonna back up so you can see how far away I am. My 9th grade year, of course, I took the bus. I was living at Lebanon Village. We used to meet down at the bus stop together. This is a time that I remember MC Hammer was pretty big. So I can't touch this. And right now I can't really reflect back and remember too many other songs, but that was really big in my life. I loved that. And guess what? Can you guess what? I wanted to be one of MC Hammer's dancers. I wanted the big booty. And I wanted to put on the shorts and shake my booty. Okay? But of course I didn't in public. I didn't do anything like that. But I used to fantasize it in my head all the time. Always wanted to be an MC Hammer backup dancer. I loved Arsenio Hall. It was at some time when I was at Lebanon Village. My mom was a huge fan of Arsenio Hall show. And I'm not sure, are they brothers, MC Hammer and him, or cousins or something, a brotherhood, maybe? I'm not sure. Not sure. But there was some kind of connection there which brought me and my mother closer together. And if I remember correctly, back in that day, MC Hammer and Arsenio Hall show was on, and they kind of were talking about stuff. I don't remember what exactly. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. The internet. This is a little bit different layout. This kind of had like a circle thing too as far as the parking lot. They opened it up. A lot of new structure going on here. And we went into the school, of course. So all the buses lined up. Understand, the same thing was going on here. There were certain guys, different breed, different kinds, that simply did not like me. I didn't fight so much here, but I was still getting bulldogged. So what I would do is I would hurry up and get out of school and quick get on the bus. So usually, believe it or not, I was the first one out the door and in the bus sitting there. I guess you find that pretty easy to believe, don't you? Yes, we believe that, Tracilyn. Yes, we believe that. So I loved my bus driver. Amazing. From what I remember, it was a guy. Yeah, he was a little older. Somehow we were listening to music. I don't know if it was on the bus or what it was, but he was always very friendly to me, to everyone. To everyone he was friendly. And most of everybody there at Lebanon Village and on our bus stops really appreciated him greatly. I'm not sure if I had a bus driver into the 10th year or not. Let me see, that would have been 2 years of 18, probably did. Because then in 10th grade eventually I got my permit and driver's license. With that being said, where I was showing you where that road off to the right, that's how far away I parked my car. There's a parking lot behind here. That's where most of the guys parked their car, or ladies, whoever had cars. I had a muscle car, a 73 Duster I was telling you about. Because of all the things I struggled with, I would never park my car in the parking lot. I wanted to hide it. I wanted to hide it from everybody. And I'm learning that was a wise thing to do. I didn't want any more trouble. I didn't want to attract any more attention to me. But I will tell you, what I used to do is I would race up this street every morning. One thing, remember, once you have a car, you have more friends, or so they appear to be friends anyway, for the most part. We all go through it, everybody with a car, at some point. Some people want to be friends, they don't have a car or what have you. They want to ride. Can't see it here right now. But this road here actually slopes down a hill. And every morning, I would come racing up here. And my car was loud, my mother's car was loud. I would take that turn, and then I would go down. After, I might go around the school, actually. I might go around the school, but rarely in the morning. And I would take that turn down there, park right, and I'll have it all set up and ready to go. And I'd sneak up here, go to school. A lot of people always wonder, where's your car at? Do you have a car? Where's your car at? Because even though I was racing up through and people knew the car, okay, a lot of times in the very beginning of that 10th grade year, they didn't put two and two together. I let them kind of discover it themselves, if you will. So I usually come to school alone and race up through here. Park my car across the street. sneak into school. I was usually the last second after everybody started going in to the school. That's when I knew it was okay for me to come up. I had it timed perfect. And I would get into my class. Can I tell you, there was a football guy there. Very good looking guy. Very muscular guy. Nice dark tan. I don't know if he was Italian or not. He might have been. He was well favored amongst the other classmates, you know. Quite popular with the other sports people. Is that proper? Sports people? For some reason, I don't want to get a whole lot into it, but I guess he kind of had something with guys with long hair like me and my KISS friend. I'm not sure if he was in my school because our last names kind of were similar, and they went through like A, B, C, D, E, F, G or something like that. And then that was in one class, and then they went so on and so forth to divide it up. That's what they did by the last name initial. And at this time, my last name was something different, which eventually I'll talk about a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you can just do some research, or maybe you already know. Might leave it in a comment down below. So, with that being said, in that whole moon, notice I say that, with that being said, look at the sky, isn't that beautiful? You can see it here. We got the moon up here. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? I love the sky. Spent many nights watching the sunset, different neighborhoods that I lived in. I still do. I try to pay attention to that. It's beautiful. The first girl that I ever dated, somehow she ended up leaving Cedar Crest and moved into the Lebanon School District. She was in at least a couple of my classes. Can you imagine how humiliating? And by the way, I don't know if I ever told you, but when I lived in Union Alley, the rich girl that I was telling you about, that we all admired, she was so beautiful, wore the white boots and the tight jeans that kind of were tapered down onto her ankles. But can I tell you, that was a very popular thing in the 80s. Any of the ladies from the 80s, and ladies from the 80s, you kind of know. You remember? That was a big deal. Have skin-tight jeans. Well, they both went to this school, okay, during this time. And it was kind of cool to see the two girls that I resembled in my mind. I'm not saying they were identical. They resembled each other in my mind. And I remembered all my history, my life journey. So I thought this was pretty cool. There was a lot of pretty girls that went to this school at that time. There was a lot of cheerleaders in this school at that time that I seen. And the whole thing was I wasn't attracted to them for any other reason than, guess what? You know, Tracilyn wanted to wear that cheerleading outfit. Did I want to be a cheerleader? Did I really want to be a cheerleader? Probably not. Maybe. I just wanted to be able to dress in a cheerleading outfit. Maybe flirt with some of the guys, you know. So you can imagine how humiliating it was for me when this big muscular guy picked on me in classes. And it wasn't just with me. It was with some of the other guys, my friend I told you about. Only my friend, who was a KISS fan, he didn't take it. He wasn't afraid to speak up. I just didn't want any more trouble in my life. So I figured, you know, be quiet. Just kind of mind my own business. There's a lot of times I would ask for a hall pass. You'd have to get a hall pass to go to the bathroom. I just wanted to get out of class, you know. Go walking around the hallways a little bit. Sometimes I would talk to the janitors. You know, or the cafeteria people. I'd just pop in, you know. And then if they said, what took you so long? I'd be like, oh, I needed to help the janitor do something quicker. You know, I'd make up an excuse. That's what I did. I tried to get out of class as much as possible. Eventually, me and that gentleman, at some point, it escalated and nothing really happened here that I remember. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But eventually, I had to face that fear with this guy. And my other friend from Lebanon Village, that was kind of like a brotherhood, he kind of encouraged me, you know, you got to hit this head on, Tracilyn, you got to hit this head on. So I actually went chasing him down in his hometown neighborhood, which wasn't too far from mine, on my bike at that time. This was before my car, from what I remember. No, it was actually in my friend's car, from what I remember, on my bike. I don't remember. See, there's so much change that's going on here. There was a cop. He was very friendly. He waved to me. The cops around here are very friendly. I hope they still are to this day. So I don't know if I was in a car. I don't know if I was in a bike, okay, or if I was in my friend's car. But somehow we ended up looking for this guy. So we go down into his neighborhood because my friend's thinking I need to deal with this. You know, I told him everything that's going on in school. He's tired of me getting picked on all the time, and pretty much the same case scenario. If you don't start doing something about this, Tracilyn, you're going to be dealing with this your whole life. Understand, obviously I didn't want to do this, right? But I did it because I understood where he was coming from. This is a moment that I guess he'll never forget. He'll never, anytime I hear him or talk to him, he'll always remind me. But I ended up showing up in front of his house. Somewhere along the line, he rode up on his bike. I guess he felt instantly intimidated about it. He didn't want to take things home to his parents. I don't know what the deal was that he was dealing with his parents. And we took it back at the playground. You know, I was like, I'm not saying that this is the way it came out, but I told him, you know, basically I was there, let's take care of this. And he was like, up at the playground. Let's go up to the playground, not here in front of my house. So we ended up going up to the playground. There was a lot of people that showed up. There were a lot of his friends, a lot of kids in the neighborhood. And they kind of circled around. Did you ever get involved in a fight like that? I think I told you back on Lafayette Street that happened too. But my superhero friend at that time was supervising that one. This one, my brother was doing this, my brotherhood friend. Same case scenario. They're a little bit different because my friend's kind of pushing me, you know, get out there and do something. And I'm kind of like standing there like, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I really didn't want to do it. But I had to do it. And you want to know something? You remember I told you some of the fights I've been into? One punch, one kick. Well, let me tell you something. He punched me. See this too? He shot it straight up into the root of my mouth. Can you imagine that? Anything like that ever happened to you? One punch and I saw blood. I fell down instantly. So I guess what goes around comes back around. I didn't want to fight, so I didn't even attempt to do anything. By the time I was pushed into it a little bit, I don't want to blame anybody else, but by the time I didn't know what to do. The guy punched me in the mouth, I hit the ground. He actually helped me up. And he left me know it was over. No more, I didn't have to worry about it from that day on. I didn't have to worry about it. But understand, my tooth, this one right here, pushed all the way up. I felt awful about that. You know, I couldn't afford to go to the doctor. I didn't know what to do about the dentist. I didn't know. He's talking about the hospital. He wants to try to save my tooth for me. My lip was busted open. And can I tell you, we went back to his apartment there in London Village. He laid me down on the ground. He laid me down on his bedroom floor, trying to save me from the humiliation of other people in his family. Seeing me like that, and he actually pulled it up. It was out by the roots. He said he could see the roots of my tooth. See the roots of my tooth. What a friend. He's kind of like a dentist, you know. He's like a dentist. So I'm laying there. Here, I'm going to tell the story again. So my friend takes me home. He lays me down on his bedroom floor. He has me hold still. He gets on top of me because it's very painful. He told me he thought he could help me with this one because he helped other people, I guess. I don't know how. How did you? How did you know what to do? Was his dad a dentist? Do you think so? Maybe his brother. Maybe he watched some television. He saw it on TV. But anyway, he pulled my tooth from the root of my mouth back up. He said he could see the roots. I'm saying the root of my mouth, but from, you know what I mean, from the top of my mouth. He said he could see the roots, and he put it back into place. My lip was all busted up here. It still is. See that scar? Okay, still to this day it's there. Never forgot about it. What do you think about that? Imagine coming back to school after that fight. My friend fixed my tooth, but what about my lip? I was not smart enough. Listen to me. I wasn't smart enough to go to the hospital and get 2 stitches. That's all I probably needed. 2 or 3 stitches. And everything would have been fine. We were kind of worried if I went to the hospital that maybe I wouldn't be able to save my tooth. You know, we think things like that. Do you ever think something crazy like that? Maybe if I go to the hospital, they won't help me. You know, for whatever reason. I had a lot of issues that was going through my mind at that time. So my friend saved my tooth that day. Thank you. Thank you. And for many years after that, he would kind of embarrass me a little bit, by sharing that story. And he would laugh all the time about it, which is okay. I didn't mind that after, you know, a year or so after, and he would bring it up. You know, it's okay to laugh about it now. It's okay to laugh about it. I'm laughing about it. I'm getting over it. So that's what I did. This is the back of the building. Isn't that pretty? Whoop. It's beautiful here. This is a beautiful school, a beautiful structure. I'm going to finish this up here. By the way, I want to tell you, there was rumor, I don't know if it still is, if anybody goes to Lebanon Senior School now, I got a question for you. They said back in the time that this school was sinking like an average of what? Is it a quarter of an inch, an eighth of an inch? So much every year or 2 years, 3 years, every so many years within a time frame, the school is sinking little by little. So you can imagine what it was like walking in this huge school. This was a big school for me to go to. 3-ring circus is what they called it back then. And let me tell you, when you're walking in it and you hear rumors about the school sinking, you kind of wonder, what would happen if the whole building, what would happen if that whole building just got swallowed up by the earth? Do you ever think something like that? Oh my goodness, help, 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 we're going down. Maybe that's where Satan is. I don't know, maybe. After that fight, remember I told you of the 2 girls that went here. Not to mention the whole school. I pretty much stuck to myself here. I talked to my friend who was a guitar player or what have you. We talked a lot. And we'd meet at lunchtime or what have you. But pretty much I stuck to myself for those 2 years. I just withdrew myself from all the school, you know? I daydreamed a lot. I remember out front, in the beginning where I was showing you where I walked in, I remember there was a classroom that was there, and I just daydreamed. This is where I daydreamed all the time, of a better life, of a better life. You know where I can find a better life? Do you have any idea? Is there a better life somewhere here on planet Earth? Because that's what I was thinking. Is there a better life somewhere for me? You know, maybe up north in Canada, maybe down in Mexico, maybe in Europe. You know, China, Japan. I didn't know. I'm thinking, is there a better life for me somewhere? What can I do to make it better? Do you ever feel that way? Did you ever wonder, is there a way I can make my life better? You know, maybe if I grew up somewhere else. What if I had different parents? Even though I loved my mom, what if I had a different dad? What if my parents would have stayed together? What if I would have never got held back a year? You know? Maybe I wouldn't be going through some of the things that I'm going through now. You know, not now, but now then. Not now, then. I used to think of that stuff all the time during those daydream years, I call it. A lot of daydreaming. And of course I watched MTV all the time when I was at home. I don't know if VH1 was popular then or not. I really don't remember. Headbangers Ball was really big during this time. Probably, or fizzling out. Pauly Shore, maybe. Do you remember Pauly Shore's show? I don't know. I don't remember. So when he came to school, and I was talking about being humiliated, and I just say from that day on, he kept his word, no more. He didn't harass me. He teased me about my lip. Actually, he did it in front of the homeroom class. And he did it in front of, he knew that I was dating that other girl, you know, my first girlfriend, or at least maybe we weren't dating each other at this time. I was actually too embarrassed and ashamed. Can you imagine that? After everything I'd been through, and now this guy, who actually, what I believe, I'm not sure, liked her, or if he didn't, did you ever run into a situation where somebody knows that you have a history, or you're in a relationship with this person, and that person is constantly flirting, teasing? Because what are you going to do about it, right? What am I going to do about it? What would I do about it? You know? Drive to his house? Get punched again? Is that what I would do about it? You know? Imagine how helpless I felt in so many situations for so many reasons. So he teased me in front of people every once in a while. He'd ask me about my lips, sometimes privately, you know, when we were walking by in the hallway. I think our locker rooms were closer together, maybe not, our lockers. I don't want to ride that too much, but let me tell you, it's not easy, you know, going through that. If you haven't, or maybe you were the one who was bullying people around, let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy going through this stuff all your life. I don't go through it now. I don't go through it anymore. I won't go through it anymore. I remember going through gym class here. Remember everything I told you? Imagine going to gym class here. This is the same guy that was kind of, not just with me, you know, some guys, were they building up their ego, you know, in front of the other classmates, you know, and they would pick on the weaker ones to elevate themselves. Is that it? I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. But I do know this, I used to go into the gym and I didn't like it. I didn't like going into the locker rooms with all the other guys. And by this time, for sure, they're proudly walking down to go from the locker to the shower. Let it all hang out is what I call it. VCAT didn't let it all hang out. VCAT didn't even want to take a shower with these guys. I didn't. Unfortunately, the gym teacher insisted that everybody after gym class gets a shower. Imagine that. You have to get a shower. Do you know what I did? I wrapped my towel around my waist at that time, and I would walk into the shower past him because the gym teacher stood there. He stood there watching everybody. That's all I'm going to say. So I go into the shower, I wet my hair, and that's it. And I just walk right out. So I got my head wet in the shower here at the gym. Now I don't know if it's here or where it is. I'm thinking it's over here. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was also concerned about showing my private part. I'm gonna tell you straight up. When I'm not excited, it's quite small. It's quite small when I'm not excited. Back in those days. And you know what? You're entering this time during the high school years where size matters. Okay, so they say. I don't know, did it matter? Does size matter? I'm just curious to know, does size matter? I'm always straight up and honest now. I've seen many, and you'll find out in my escort years, and I realize that I'm pretty well to do. I loathed going to gym class. Me, I love working out, physical fitness. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same gym teacher that followed us all the way from elementary school. His sons went to school right around the time I did. He had an older one, and at that time, I don't know how many kids he had, but I do know the child and my classmate was in elementary school. So he was my gym teacher in Harding Elementary. Then he went to junior high, and then he came out here to high school. I don't know where he is now. Many of you from Lebanon may see this video and remember him. He was he had amazing physique. He was outstanding in sports. He used to run back behind the school as like a track, for running. And when we'd have to go outside in our shorts and stuff, I always felt intimidating. You know, I wanted to dress more like the girls, and I'm trying to fit in with the guys. It's not working, obviously, too well. So I'm out with the guys. And can I tell you, I was always surprised because some of the guys who smoked a lot, they were the fastest there. Like they would just take the lead by over half a track. I mean, these guys were fast. I thought I could run fast. These guys, once I got to high school, for sure, these guys were amazing athletes. But what was cool about this gym teacher, if you ever saw anybody do this, it's amazing, is in order to push us and get us going and showing us how it's done, he would actually run backwards. And he would outrun us backwards. So he was kind of intimidating us a little bit to, if he can do this, then we should be able to pick up the pace a little bit and have better times. Yeah, you made a very good point. Let me tell you something, this guy was amazing in sports and training. He was a wonderful trainer, you know, body, mind, and soul. He was great with it. And he was very passionate about it. Okay, I remember that. And I remember after school working out in here a few times, just a few times. This was the gym coach, if you will, the gym teacher. He actually encouraged me to play basketball. I heard that a lot throughout my life. Why don't you let me tell you something, as I came out as a lady, a lot of people would ask me, did you play basketball? Were you a basketball player when you were little growing up? And in the beginning, that used to frustrate me. Why does everybody think, so let me tell you something, guys, just because a person's 6'2", you know, maybe they played bowling, darts, you know, maybe they rollerbladed, you know. I wasn't never a sports fanatic because I just realized at a very early age I'm not really talented. Round the world, I loved Round the World. And pig or different animal games that we'd play cow. Remember I told you how we'd play that game? We're talking another time about that, but it's back on a few videos on Lafayette Street. I could play those games, but I could never play with the guys or the girls that were really good at the game of basketball. But he kept encouraging me. You ought to really consider doing that. You ought to really consider doing that. And I had a lot of compassion for that. I was very grateful that he would approach me and encourage me for that. But can I tell you, because of everything that I've been through, I just wasn't confident enough to do that. You know, I for a lot of different reasons. And sometimes I used to wonder, well, what if I would do it? Would I be liked? You know, because actually what I remember is the team players, you don't harass each other. If they did, things happen, of course. Things do happen. I understand that. Sometimes fights break out, even within my band that I was in, or our band that I was in. Being a team player, that's something I always wanted to be a part of. I wanted to be a team player. So why wasn't I joining a basketball team? I wanted to do music. I was 100% concrete I wanted to do it. My confidence wasn't there yet at this time. Junior high school years totally changed my life, and I tell you what, I went from escape to dreaming. That's all I did was dream, 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 dream. And I'm looking forward to sharing about my musical passions as I went through life's journey. I never tried out for the basketball team. Would have my life been a little bit different, at least through my high school years? Would have I quit? Would have I somehow ended up being a part of a basketball team in my college years? Maybe go pro? Listen, you never know. And sometimes you question things like that. Who would have I met? The kind of different people. Would have I made different friends? Where, you know, when you connect with other people, sometimes your life journey just takes a whole nother spin around the world. You never know. Anything could happen. Maybe I would have met another transsexual lady. You know, one of my friends from Ohio, she's almost 7 foot. She's a transsexual lady. Beautiful, 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 beautiful person. A happy moment here outside of that was driver's ed. I will never forget my driver's ed teacher. He actually lived where I lived in Lebanon Village at that time, up on the hill, again with the rich folk. I don't know necessarily if they were rich, you know, we just say that. You know, the rich folk live up on the hill, we live down here in the trenches. But we had a lot of fun in those trenches, you know? I'm not saying, please don't be offended when I say stuff like that, because I'm kidding. I'm tired right now, I'm fatigued. But I'm on a schedule, I'm trying to keep up with my own demands. Okay. I'm very demanding of myself. Driver's ed was outstanding. Two things that I was introduced here. The driver's ed teacher, I forget the reason why, but for some reason he had at least part of his leg amputated. So he was a teacher that walked around the hallways. He had crutches, and he got around perfect. He had a wonderful physique too, very handsome man, very kind gentleman. And he never showed, it appeared to me, to show any kind of favoritism. He was very passionate about helping people to drive to the best of their ability, teaching them, to get them geared up and ready to drive their cars. I'm not sure if he had a muscle car or not during that time, in the garage, or whether he ever showed up in one, but something tells me he was passionate about cars. When I got my driver's license, or just beforehand, he was the individual that actually helped me to prepare me to get me ready to go take the test. I didn't really have my mother might have taken me out, or maybe my brother or something when I had my permit, but he taught me everything that I knew to this day. Do you ever see me driving on the street? Blame it on him. It's his fault, not mine. I did really good, actually. That was one thing I was very passionate about, driving a car. I'm not good with being a mechanic on them, or anybody who knows me. But driving them, it's because of him, because of my mom's boyfriend, because of my mom. But he helped me a lot to learn a lot. There was another class I did good in. Math was one, and driver's ed. I was so excited to go to driver's ed. I heard my brother talk about this and his friends. I don't know if they ever attended, but this was a big talk and a big deal already in junior high school. I fully knew that I wanted to participate in driver's ed class when I got here. I remember him taking me out. I remember him helping me to park it, a parallel park, all that stuff. I'm not sure if he was with me the day I got my license or not. Probably not. But I know another thing I was excited about is because he had helped me, I got cheaper rates for my insurance. Driver's ed class. At least back in the day, it helped. I probably failed to mention this, but something else that I took in junior high school that I may have taken here, but I think it was in junior high school, was art class. Painting, drawing. I don't know what else we may have done. But can I tell you, I learned there that I'm not too good with stuff like that. Drawing and paintings and stuff. It's just not my thing. Maybe someday. I used to think someday I might be able to do something, especially the more that as I grew and I saw that there's different art pieces, different ways of expressing yourself. Maybe someday I will be able to do that. But during that time, I really did compare myself with others. And it always seemed like everybody around me was doing much better than me. I think I felt pretty bad about myself. What's my problem? The unique thing is, as I get older, and I start giving myself permission, artistically, I start expressing my inner spirit outwardly in my whole life, through my music. Maybe not right now, obviously, but even in the way I dress, That's one of the things I really enjoyed, and I'll talk more about it as being an adult escort. Creating the illusion. I love to role play. I should have got more involved in plays and stuff like that. Drama classes, was it? Drama? Not drama. I don't want to be involved in drama, please. Just the name of that kind of freaks me out. No drama for me. I don't want to be involved in drama. Leave me alone. I probably should have got involved in stuff like that, but I didn't know how to tap into it. And to be honest, these are the years I dreamed. I wanted to get home as soon as possible. I wanted my car. By the time I was in 10th grade, I had my first car, got my driver's license, and I was too worried about drinking, and driving my car and hanging out in town and trying to make friends that were not in school. I wanted to try to make friends that knew nothing about my school life. Did you ever feel that way? You want to make friends, maybe not in your career life, maybe not in your home life. I found out even in my later years, sometimes I didn't want to get too close and too friendly with my friends because sometimes things didn't seem to work out too good if you were good friends with them. I don't want to talk a whole lot about that, but it just seemed like there was more drama sometimes, and then, I don't know, I can't explain it. It seemed like I was always better separating my home life, my school life, and my career life with my friend life. This is it. I'm in high school. And if I can think of anything else about it, I'll have to share it with you. Because I'm going to move on to talking about a few other subjects, and I'll be done this week. Can I tell you something right now? I'm not searching anymore. I found what I love. You're looking at her. I love myself so much. All the stuff that I had to go through is what made me who I am. I worked in factories. Did you ever work in factories or see things on YouTube? Like I said before, it was electric parts of some kind of electronic device that maybe went through a process in a factory, or chocolates. I say that a lot. Whatever the deal is, I worked in a coating plant, and these metal parts went through the oven, so I kind of relate back to there, but it wasn't a shaping process, it was a coating process. I don't want to talk a whole lot about the depths of this right now, but I often look at my life as that I was being shaped and molded to be the person I am. And looking back, I got to be honest, I kind of see myself in there, and I feel sad. It's like right now I'm my higher self, and I see my younger self in there. And I want so bad to go into that school, and get me to stop dreaming and start living. Stop dreaming and start living. There is a better life. There's a much better life. That's what I want to tell myself. It's a much better life. Somewhere in this world there has to be. There's how many billions of people in this world? There has to be somebody in this world that cares. If nobody else cares for you, I care for you. And that's all that matters. That's all that should matter. You say it's a big world. I don't know how big it is. I don't know how big it is. I don't know. I never measured it. Get out your rulers. School, can we get some rulers here? We need to measure out the world. I don't know. We're going to talk more in depth with that. I might cut a lot of this out. This may be just for me right now. I wanted to believe there was a better life. I was still frustrated because that first girl that I was with, I was mad because I wasn't allowing myself to be in a relationship with her. I felt so low of myself that I felt I wasn't worthy. I'm not worthy to be friends with you in a relationship, because that's what it was. Looking back now, great friends. Remember, intimacy with men is what I desire. Now, to this day. But we had everything in common just about. She loved to listen to me play. You're out there and you know who you are. I used to love playing for her. I used to love listening to music with her. I loved everything with her. Times have changed. I want to be her friend. I want to reach in there and shake Tracilyn up a little bit. My 11th year, I refused to go. That's how bad it was up here. I'm tired of all this. Tired of it. I begged my mom. I don't want to go to school. And I'll never forget when I told her I haven't gone for 2 weeks. I haven't gone for almost 2 weeks, Mom. I'm not going this year. So I don't know what the consequences of that is going to be, but we got to handle this properly because I'm not going anymore. And I don't know if I told her I was tired of getting beat up or whatever the deal was, but I told her I really wanted a job. I want a job. And it really hurt her, okay? It hurt her bad. I don't know if she ended up quitting school in her childhood or not, but I know she didn't want me to. She wanted me to graduate. And can I tell you, it was hard on me. I didn't want to quit. If I could have made my 11th year, 12th grade usually here, anybody who remembers back there, 12th grade you go to vote tech. I was always upset about that because my brother used to come here starting in 10th grade, they would go to vote tech. So he used to have a half a day here, half a day in vote tech. I may have got it, I may have went once or twice, I forget. But I remember I was looking forward to that. I want to learn a trade. I want to learn a trade and start working so I can get a car, so I can have friends, so I can have a different life, so I can get my own place or whatever. You know, I was in a rush to get life started. And at that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't know what else to do. I want to play guitar, but I'm thinking very negative about it. You know, I'm thinking this ain't no way. And I'll tell you some stories about that. You'll find out why. Okay, you'll find out why. Give me a chance to explain the rest of my life story. You'll find out why I was so negative about that. I wanted to be a guitar player, not a singer. Okay, remember that. I wanted to be a guitar player, not a singer. But who's telling me I should sing? Who's telling me way back in elementary school you should sing? Sing, sing, sing. Okay? I don't know why I didn't get involved. To me, I wanted to rock and roll. I didn't want to be in a choir. Did you ever feel that way? I don't want to be in your choir. I want to rock and roll. I want to scream in guitar. Where nowadays, I want to rap. I don't want to be in there. I want to sing some rap songs. Maybe they rap now. Do they rap in school? I don't know. What do they do? You know, techno? Techno? Does the school get together instead of the old traditional bands, they actually do techno? I can only imagine what the cheerleaders do nowadays. Wow, I see the NFL cheerleaders sometimes and I'm just so blown away by that. It's fascinating. Let me just say that I probably just want to wear the cheerleading outfit and hang out with everyone. Rock and roll, you know? My high school, beautiful high school. I am really impressed with how well they kept up with it and the things that they done with it. The Three-Ring Circus, that's what it was called. A lot of die-hard 80s fans went to this school, let me tell you. Rock and rollers everywhere you looked. A lot of people with long hair during those days. A lot of parties. A lot of playing hooky. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble. I played a lot of hooky. This time, it was increasing dramatically. So to end the story, it's two things. My mom brought me here. We went into the counselor. I might have drove us here. We went into the counselor. And the counselor actually looked over my file. And you know what? He said, "Why do you want to do this?" And I was so embarrassed because of my life and my history that I didn't want to tell him why. But he looked at my grades. He said, "You're above average." I'm above average. I don't study. I don't even pay attention in school. Okay? I was kind of impressed when he said that because I knew. I did do my work. But can I tell you, I never paid attention in school. Especially by this time. I'm daydreaming all the time. I guess that girl on Lafayette Street, she tackled me. And now I always wondered what would happen if I would go out in the middle of a game, NFL game, and I would take their ball and start running down the court. Would they chase me? Do you think all of them would chase me? Would you guys chase me? If any football players out there, or maybe ex-football players, is that what they call it, ex? Would you chase me? Would you hurt me? Please don't hurt me. My mom was so sad. She sat to the left of me. I felt so bad. I think it was the left of me. Counselor kind of shrugged his shoulders. Your mom's here. This is what you want to do. And you know what? When I left there, after signing, we signed the paper, she signed the paper. She was so hurt, so hurt. She did not want to do this, but I was not going. I'm not going. Mom, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to school. I'm getting a job, Mom. Oh, I didn't want a job. Trust me. You heard some of my stories. I didn't want a job. No, I didn't want a job. I wanted to get an education. I wanted to move on. I didn't know how to follow my dreams of being a musician, being a part of a team. Okay, I didn't know how. Okay, maybe I would have learned it if I was a part of that basketball team. Okay, maybe a lot of things would have been different if I would have just learned, took the time to actually learn what some of the teachers in here were trying to teach me. Okay, I get that. It's not one-sided here. It's not one-sided. I was stuck in negative thinking because of everything that was going on in my life, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. I could have went to the counselors. The counselors are here. Why didn't I? Why didn't I snap out of it and go talk to them? Why didn't I reach out more? You know? I don't know why. It was my nature. It was my nature. It's not my nature now. I sought out help. I sought out help. I don't have everything figured out. But trust me on this. Just because you hear this story, don't think that I'm walking around with my head down. Okay? I smile. I love who I am. I'm grateful for all of this. Okay? I wouldn't change it at all. I wouldn't want to go to another school district. Okay? I went to London School District, the Three-Ring Circus. Let me tell you something. When I look back now and I think of some of the things, if I could just get outside of my negative thinking, amazing things were also happening. You know, we were going roller skating, hanging out in town. I had a lot of friends, you know, I really did. Maybe not friends, but I had people that I shared my lunch with, you know. There was a couple people I shared gym with. There was a couple people I shared the bus ride with. I wasn't focused on these things. I was too focused on other things. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, just know that I wouldn't change anything. My friend, a Kiss fan, or the drummer, actually, one drummer, the sports guy, he followed me all through the school too. Not followed me, but he was here too. And he was a huge Tommy Lee fan from Motley Crue. That's why I mentioned Tommy Lee a little bit earlier. He kind of had a similar setup, from what I understand. Looking back in my memory, from like Theodore Payne, a kind of drum set. I don't know if it was a Pearl drum set that my friend had though, or anything like that, or if it was Tommy Lee's. I forget what it was, but I just remember that was a huge inspiration. And he used to, while we're imitating Kiss and John Cougar, Cinderella, he's imitating Tommy Lee all the time. He was good at it too. When I walked out into the hallway to say goodbye, forever, to this school, I'll never forget when the counselor stopped me for a second and he said, anytime you want to come back, you feel you want to come back, come back. He didn't want me to quit. I guess under the legal system that he had to do it at that time. Let me tell you something. I didn't go without a price of wondering, did I do the right thing? My mom wondering, did you do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Oh, that was a lot of pressure. Can you imagine what that did to me now? Why am I running away? Why am I quitting? Why am I giving up on this? I only got 2 more years. VOTEC is right in front of me. You know, I'm looking forward to VOTEC. My brother, my sisters, they went to VOTEC. I want to go to VOTEC. I really did. I want to go to VOTEC. Can I just say in later years, throughout, or a couple years after, I ended up going to VOTEC to take MIG welding classes. Okay? I forget all about how I got involved in it. But I remember being at that VOTEC and walking around the hallways thinking, these could have been my high school years. I could have learned a trade in here through my high school years. And I started exploring, and I was looking forward to that. I wanted to get a career. I wanted to be kind of guided off in it, you know? And I can't tell you how many times I used to wish that I would come back here, but I was scared. At that time, I was scared. I walked away from it. What am I going to do? You know, how can I just walk in there and tell them I want to start over? And then a year goes by, and then another year. You know, is it too late now? I'm 41. Could I go to school for 2 more years? Let me tell you, I thought of stuff like that. Could I come back here for 2 more years? Get my diploma? That would be exciting. And I don't mean going to adult school. I mean hanging out with everybody. You know? Even if they picked on me. Even if they picked on me. You guys, let me tell you something. The guys don't let me can pick on me as long as they don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Okay, I'm a lady now. Guys can't mess with me. And the girls too. Okay, remember the tough girls oversaw, looked after me. Okay, so tough girls don't hurt me either. Okay, it was always the guys. I used to think crazy stuff like that. Like I wished for there would be a way that would be possible. That would be cool. To relive, go through my 11th grade and then my senior year. But the odds of that happening, you know what I ended up doing? In order to drive truck, it was very highly recommended. Remember the same guy who told me to cut my hair? Get your GED. You want to drive truck, get your GED. I don't know if that was before I had to take that course or not. I think so. At some point, I would have been the class of 91, by the way. At some point, I ended up going into town, the city, and I enrolled in a daily class that they had there to prep you for your GED. I wasn't too good at some of the stuff. English was hard for me. English was a very, very hard thing. My mind just ain't getting it. So I learned, I'm going to go through this really quick. I learned when you read a couple paragraphs, usually the first two sentences, anybody who knows, you know what I'm talking about? You start picking this up, is going to be the first or second question. Okay? And it's going to keep going down. So the next paragraph is going to be the third or fourth question. I started having to do that because I couldn't remember after I read the whole thing. I just couldn't remember. I don't know why. Okay? That was just never easy for me. So English was horrible for me. And I wanted to study Spanish, and I have all kinds of more stories because we had Spanish in here too. And let me tell you something. I had troubles with English. You can imagine how I was with Spanish. Si, senor. What did I just say? I don't know. Si, senor. Yes. Yes, sir. Is that it? Yes, sir. I always wanted to learn some Spanish. Not a whole lot, just enough to have some simple conversations, compliment people. And you'll find out, I started picking it up when I was traveling, as an escort. I started talking to some of the ladies that were working in the hotels were Spanish, and I wanted to communicate with them, so thank goodness for the internet. Audible internet. Then I'll never forget when I came here. So I must have been taking my GED classes in 90, because 91, I made sure. I could have went back, maybe I could have, I don't know. I didn't feel like I could. I feel like I got kind of lost in that work life now. See how quick that happens? I got lost in the work life. I remember when I was in here, and I took my GED. I can't remember if it was the driver's ed class or not, but I remember taking that test in here, in this school, this building, I think, over here. And I can't tell you how I felt. A lot of different things going through my mind. But I was so proud of myself. I got my GED. I passed. Barely. I barely passed. I barely passed my GED. But I got it in this school. I always wanted it to be a diploma. Let me tell you, I still felt kind of bad. I was excited that I passed. I still have that certificate to this day. But I felt bad about that because I really wanted to go back to school. I felt like it was, if I could accomplish anything else in my life, it would be to complete those 2 years. Especially now because I'm kind of like a punk kid. So I probably should start in elementary school again and work my way back up. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my goodness, that would be great. Let me tell you something, start out in kindergarten. I never went to kindergarten anyway. Can I go to kindergarten first? Maybe I can go to kindergarten daycare center for a year or two and then go to kindergarten and then start in first and work my way back up. Guys, be gentle on me. Don't beat me up. Don't harass me, please. I'm just here to have a good time and get educated. That would be great. I want to be a cheerleader. Can I be a cheerleader? Can I be on your team? Can I be on your team? That would be great. I want to say something here. This may be very sensitive to a lot of other people. And I don't mean to, please understand, I mean all due respect, all due respect. I came to this school after I started going through all my legal transitioning corrections, okay, from male to female. You can't imagine what that's like. I don't want to talk about that right now too heavily, but you can't imagine what I had to go through. Because every county, every city, every state throughout the United States operates differently. Let me tell you something, as you go through life, you start realizing, why is all this separation? Why is everybody doing things differently? Why can't there be a unity of some sort? I mean, even when people are going through hard times and they need something like a food card, why do you got to apply in one city, one state, one county? I mean, I kind of understand some of the basic concepts, but maybe you're homeless, maybe you're looking for a home. You know, you got to keep going into each city and try and getting creative over this. You know, it's challenging sometimes. These are questions, that's all. All right? If I sound frustrated, it's because I am. I'm getting tired. That's all it is. I would think to myself, why is it so challenging to go through this legal correction? Why do we make things next to impossible sometimes? Gotta fight. Get a lawyer. Go get a job, make a lot of money, go pay it to the lawyer so the lawyer can take your money and then go in there and do it. And I have nothing against lawyers. I had a lot of great lawyers in my life. But I'm just saying, why? Why make it so challenging? You have no idea what people go through their whole life. It's not that much to ask. Can we make things right? I did body, mind, and soul. Let's make my legal documents correct too. And can I tell you something without riding it too much? This was one of the final stops. Was the school that I went to for truck driving school. It was funny. I went to truck driving school. And to here. And can I tell you, both those places, I got everything else corrected. But both these places, including the high school, refused to correct it. Now, if I wasn't so out and willing to share my life story, I would say that that would be a horrible experience. Because in the world that we live in, let's be honest, people are very judgmental. It's not easy for people who have an open mind. And they are raised different cultures, they have different medical reasons, psychological reasons. They're not like the standard that society has created. Because the standard that society has created is not realistic. Not for everybody. Some people. Maybe. Highly doubtful. Okay? So I was very hurt. I was excited to walk into this school and walk through some of the hallways that day. Very excited. I told you I'd love to go back to school again. Take the bus, maybe. Can I drive the bus? I got my CDLs, you know. Let me tell you something. I tried to be very confident when I was there and, try to keep my head up and act like this didn't bother me. Just patient and understanding. I walked away and I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous. You know, the system has set up that for somebody like myself, when you go through all that you do in your life and then you go out and you seek professional and you get counseling, and you go psychological evaluation, you go to the local courts right down the road, you get your name changed, you get your gender status corrected, not changed, corrected, even down to your birth certificate. Thank you, Pennsylvania. You have no idea how helpful that is. Corrected. So you're going through, you get your driver's license corrected finally. This just happened a couple years ago. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Seriously, I'm not saying that to be smart. Thank you. And you go back in your own history. And yes, you want to correct it. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times people will look at it and say, well, you were born a boy. No. The doctor decided to look at a body part and declare I was a boy. Is that what they did when they landed on the moon? We're declaring this the moon. I don't know. This is Mars. Over here's Jupiter. We're going to call that Jupiter over there. Is that okay? Is this planet Earth? Can I tell you, is this planet Earth? Am I on the right planet? Well, let me tell you something. It's very unfortunate But my hope is that there's going to be more educational programs out there that can reach out to the people in schools, not just the leadership teams, but to reach out to the students, to reach out to the local community at large, all over America, all over the world. Why not? We got YouTube now. Thank you, YouTube. Where are you at, in California? I don't know. Where's your server? Thank you, YouTube. Let us get educated. Let us bring some understanding into our schools. Why not? Okay, because I'll tell you what, after that, for a while, that bugged me. It still does a little bit. Not for me. I'm over it. I'm here to educate people, by the way. I'm here to educate you. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Just by sharing my life story, I don't know everything. But I question these things. I have no idea what we got to go through. Let me tell you something. When I walk in to a fast food chain, retail store, whatever systems they have nowadays, they can dig way back. They can probably figure everything out anyway, right? Nowadays, everything's computerized. We got all your information now. We got all your information since the day you were born, since the day you were conceived. Okay, they got it. They got it, okay? I don't know how far back they can go. I don't know what all they can do. But can I tell you something? There are some facilities, some places that will work, and they will check it all the way back. You're not, they look at it, and they might look at it as you're trying to hide. Are you trying to hide? Where are you? Come out. Where did you disappear to? Are you up in the sky? Are you on the moon? Where are you hiding at? Let me tell you something. A lot of these girls, I've noticed, I'm saying a lot, not everybody's the same. When I say a majority of these girls, they're not hiding from anything. In fact, unlike, can I just say this? Unlike a lot of humans that I've met in this walk of life, they're some of the few that are hiding from anything. They're stepping into the light. Okay? And let me tell you something, it's not easy. It's not easy. As you can see, it took me all the way up into my 30s. But there was a time, even into my 30s, and I just say, see how it's dark? Step into the light, Tracilyn. You're going to hear my story. Step into the light. Here I am. I was hiding in the dark. You found me. Nice to see you. You found me. We were playing hide and seek. I wanted to see if you could find me. It took you 34 years. Thank you, Tracilyn. Okay? When you do that, you'll never believe how your whole life can fold into tiny little pieces. Like dust down there. Okay. Very quickly. You lose everything. Okay? Most situations, not all. Not everybody's life journey is the same, but I will say a majority, yes. Okay. And what I'm finding out is all through my life, all I've been wanting to do really is be a part of something. Something. Just to be a part of something, use my talents, my gifts, and be happy. Celebrating myself, celebrating all walks of life. Diversity. Stop dividing up the neighborhoods. Stop casting fear into people. You know, and that goes up the world at large. How big is the world again? Did we measure that? I don't remember if we measured it. Okay, get out the rulers. Okay. It makes a big deal to a lot of people. Let me tell you something. They're not hiding. You step in front of this light. Am I hiding? Here I am. I'm right under the light. Okay? For me, I was never hiding. I didn't know I was there. Where are you at? I didn't know you were hiding behind that bush over there. Is that where Tracilyn is? Is that Tracilyn? Who is Tracilyn? I don't know who she is. Let's go find out. Let's go find out. Here she is. Hi guys, it's me, Tracilyn, also known as VCat. Can I come out into the light? Can I stand in front of the light for you? Here I am. This is what I look like. Okay? I don't look much different than you. I don't look much different than you. It's very unfortunate that in society, through the entertainment resources that we had available up to now, and so on and so forth, I could go on and deep, and I will sometime. that transgendered ladies, if you will, transsexuals, cross-dressers, transvestites, and I'll talk a lot about that, have been portrayed as like a comic relief, ridiculous. Listen, I'm going to say it straight up. That's the way they're portrayed. They're not. They're just like you, just like me, all of us. We're all trying to make our way through life's journey, and let's try to make it a little bit easier on people, just a little bit. Maybe let's get off their back. Let's stop harassing them in the hallways, in their classrooms. If they're getting smart, you might want to teach them a lesson. Okay? I'm in full agreement during that time, even for myself. Get smart, you teach somebody a lesson. They don't get smart no more. But just for being themselves, wanting to reach out and be a part of something, I'm looking for a day when I find out that a transsexual lady came to this school. She's on a cheerleading team. I hope I'm still around when that happens. Maybe she'll be on NFL. Maybe there is one already. Maybe there is. Tracilyn, there is one. Over here she is. She's hiding up there. She's ready to step into the light. I don't know. Maybe not here. Maybe somewhere else. I love to hear stories like that because you're hearing more and more. We're coming out. We're tired of being oppressed. For the whole LGBT community, for people of all walks of life, we're tired of being oppressed. So I just want to say that bugged me. After everything I've been through, I'm not trying to hit a savvy story or anything, Hey, is this what I'm getting at? Is this what you've been getting at, Tracilyn? You've been sharing us all the way up until now. Now you're going to put this on us? Listen, I'm not saying a bad word about anything. I'm just saying. Okay? This is part of the history of me going to this school. I wish I could have walked away getting what I was hoping to get when I came here, which was respect. You might not get it now. I hope you do someday. All I wanted was respect. The whole time I went to this school, the whole time I went to Harding Elementary, the whole time I went to Jonestown, which I did have respect in Jonestown, by the way. Ever since I came to Lebanon City, I wanted respect. Respect! How does that song go? Look it up. Respect. I don't know. There's a song called Respect, isn't there? So I'm getting ready to sign off now. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of happy memories here, as well as a lot of daydreaming years. That's what I remember this of. There was a guy that worked in the mechanics place. I remember him now. See, more memories are going to be coming back. I was starting to get into cars. He was very popular amongst my superhero friend from Lafayette Street, my brother. He taught this city, the city of Lebanon, how to work on their muscle cars, how to build muscle cars. Okay? He taught the city how to build muscle cars. Yes. And I remember, I think he was a smoker at that time. I'm not sure. I don't want to get him in trouble. I think he was. I think I remember him smoking, whether it was outside or out the door or something like that. Had a great deal of respect for him. I couldn't learn what he was teaching only because of me. It really wasn't my passion. I should have been in music class. The choir. Oh! What do you think? I should have been in the choir. Now I probably couldn't do it. Now it's rap and techno and all that other stuff. I might give it a try. Can I give it a try? Maybe someday, not now. I'm too tired. I say that a lot because I'm ready to go back and take a nap for a few hours. Well, I love everybody here. I hope the school years for everybody in Lebanon are magnificent. And I don't know how good their teams are doing, but I hope they're doing good. I hope they're doing good. Peace and love, always.